So today's episode, I'm going to answer your question about Social Security. The question always is it going broke? Now, I know everybody worries about that. They worry about the future, and they worry about where the next check is coming from. So you're not alone. So I understand that you want to learn about it, so let's learn a little bit about it. Now, this is really a political football. Now, the Congress, they kind of take their head and they stick it in the sand, but Social Security's had some challenges, especially over the last 10 years, and I'll explain why as I go along. But it doesn't matter where you are, whether you're in a foreign country or in the United States, these systems all have problems because more and more people are getting older and older. And what I mean by that? Well, they're getting older, so they want more checks. And guess what? They're not having babies, so we're not having people bring new money into the system. So the Social Security system is invented by the government, and the legislature makes the rules. Now, when I say legislature, I mean the congressional people and the senators. They make the rules on all this, and that's why it's a political football. Nobody wants to sit and say, this is what's going to happen. So it's probably time that you started thinking about that yourself. What are you going to do as this system changes? It's not going to go broke. That's not going to happen. But I know that everybody wants more benefits, and I know everyone hates to pay the taxes. All right, well, someone's going to have to pay for this thing, so let's talk about that first. So right now, the Social Security system, according to the administration, Social Security Administration, according to them, 60 million people in the United States are currently collecting money from the Social Security. Folks, there's no way they're going to shut that down. They would have people rioting in the streets. So that system will continue, but it's going to change. Now, how is it going to change? I don't know. I'm not the administrator. I'm not the people that are making the decision, but you need to think it out, because where are you going to be if you don't have something else going for you? So this system was never meant for you to have a nice complete retirement program. It was meant to keep people out of the poverty level. Okay, now when I say out of that, you can drop to below that level and then you're going to be impoverished and not have anything. So the system was made so people could get 20, 25, 30% of what they need to take care of themselves. So you're going to need to supplement this some other way. All right, now how does the Social Security get their money? I already admit, and I hope you're going to admit, the system needs to be revised. If they don't revise it, well, then it could go broke. But you can't let something go broke that has 60 million people already collecting money. So today, according to the Social Security Administration, according to them, 10,000 new people a day apply for and are granted Social Security benefits. 10,000 a day, because the baby boomers are all there now. They're all retiring. So that means more and more people, 10,000 people every single day. So the commitments that Social Security has made are going to get larger and larger. So the people that were the baby boomers from 1946 to 1964, well, those people are all coming into the marketplace now and wanting benefits from the Social Security. So they're going to have to do something about it, but the politicians throw it back and forth. They're always trying to scare everybody and say, oh, it's going to go broke, and that makes all the senior citizens go into a panic. Now, according to them, each day, the Social Security system takes in $2 billion. Now, where does that $2 billion come from? It comes from employees and it comes from employers. So the employees pay 6% of their wages. Then their employers are required to equal that. So 12% of all the money earned goes to Social Security every single month. That's $2 billion a day. And you know what? People are living longer. More and more people are going to want to collect. Well, that's what's happening. And guess what? These older people, they're not having babies. As a matter of fact, they haven't had babies. So there's less and less people coming in from the lower level. So there's 12% of the income that everybody earns going into Social Security, but it's not enough. Now, why isn't it enough? It sounds like a lot of money. It's because there's too many people coming into the system. Now, when it was designed, for every person that was contributing, there was actually 16 contributors to every person collecting. So let me say that again. 16 contributors to every person collecting. Now that was over 50 years ago, 60 years ago. So think about what it is now. Today, according to the Social Security Administration, there's only 3 people putting money in for every person that's collecting. So if that gets worse every day, that means something's got to happen to the system. So the politicians want to scare everybody and say, well, it's going to go broke. So then everybody said, yeah, well, the Democrats say, oh, no, the Republicans are saying don't pay more. Or the Republicans say, oh, wait a minute, if you don't do something, there's going to be no money for anybody. So 60 million people are collecting. Now, in 2037, not according to me, but according to the Social Security Administration, in 2067, there'll be 83 million people. So the situation is only going to get worse. So what is going to happen? Well, it's 60 million now. It's forecast in just less than 20 years. Guess what? It's forecast to have 83 million. So something's going to happen. So there's people that are collecting money today, and there's people that are contributing today. The contributors, there's only 3 contributing for every one that's collecting. So some time ago, well, that was altogether different. There were 16 people collecting. So if you just do that math real quick in your head, this system's going bankrupt. Well, the government isn't going to let it go bankrupt. They're going to collect some more money, or they're going to change the way the system works. So start thinking to yourself, it's not going bankrupt, so what will they do? Now, if you can anticipate what they're going to do, they're going to have to change some things. So what will they change? Well, they could cut the benefits. Now, how people that are collecting money now are going to feel about when they start cutting the benefits? What else could they do? Well, instead of retiring at 67, they could change that to 70. So that means people have to work longer. Well, that probably isn't going to matter too much because they're living a lot longer now. So that means they're going to have to wait to collect their money. All right, so there's many things that they can do. So they could change from 67 to 70. They could stop paying the what's called COLA, C-O-L-A, cost of living adjustment. So when Social Security, when the government says, oh, we have inflation and the cost of living is going up, they're supposed to boost the Social Security. Well, believe me, the government never wants to say that there's inflation. Why? Because they're going to have to pay more money out to the Social Security people. All right, they made the rules. I didn't make them, but my concern is if the employees are contributing and the employers are contributing, and that isn't enough, and it's $2 billion a day, but that's still only 3 people for every person they're collecting, we got a major problem. Are they going to cut the benefits? I don't know what they're going to do. Are they going to make people work longer? I don't know what they're going to do. Are they going to tell people not to retire? I don't know what they're going to do. But before I finish, I'll show you a couple of solutions that have worked for me. And it wasn't Social Security, because I know 25% of what I might need is what I'm going to get when I'm trying to get Social Security check. Well, you're not going to be any different, because it wasn't made for you to retire and go sit back and go to the beach every weekend or whatever. It wasn't made for that. So a lot of things are going to happen over the next 10 to 30 years in this system. I don't know what it's going to be, but I do know that you need some solutions. So let me give you a couple that have worked for me. Now, I started out doing the business I do now, which is tax lien certificates and tax deeds. It's an alternative investment. I got involved in it 30 years ago, and I've never looked back because it's a hugely profitable business, and anybody can do it, whether you're a senior citizen or whether you're coming for your first job. It's a part-time thing that you can do, and it's an alternative investment that's been around for over 200 years. So if you learn a little bit about this, you can be assured it's probably going to be around a lot longer. So what's going on? Well, here's what's happening with the real estate market. Basically, everyone that's in the United States is required to pay property tax. They call that a wealth tax. All right, so if you own property, you're required to pay tax. It's usually 1, 2, or 3%. Sometimes a little higher than that in the states like New York, New Jersey, Maryland, and so on. They have higher taxes. But basically, it's a very small amount of money to pay each year into the tax system. Well, that money's used to take care of people. Well, what people do they take care of? Well, they have to take care of the police department. They have to take care of the fire department. They have to take care of the school teachers, the county employees. I'm sure you're getting the idea. So the legislature passed a rule. And the rule is this: everybody has to pay property tax. Well, it turns out people pass away, they don't pay. Other people just abandon it, they don't pay. Other people get sick and they don't pay. Other people have an accident, they don't pay. So what is the county going to do? Well, the county's always going to levy the tax. They're going to try to collect the tax, and if they can't collect it, what they're going to do is they're going to confiscate the property. When they confiscate their property, what are they going to do with it? Well, I can tell you, the county, the board of supervisors, and the commissioners, they have mandated to collect the tax. What are they going to do? Well, now they have the property, they're simply going to sell the property, not for retail price, but for the back taxes, because they need taxes to run the government, to fix the roads, to pay for the pay for the county employees to take care of whatever has to be taken care of the county's obligations. All right, so what they're going to do with those properties, they're going to take those properties in, and when they take them in, they don't care about them. They just want to get rid of them. So they're going to try to sell them. So they sell them at very low prices, 10, 20, 30 cents on the dollar. Well, think about this. What if a property had a $100,000 value and you could buy it for 30 cents on the dollar? Well, the margin between what you paid for the 30 cents and the 100, that's all margin that you could probably make money on. All right, so there's going to be hundreds of these properties. Nationwide, there's going to be thousands of these properties. And what is the county going to do? The county's going to sell those properties at 60, 70, 80% discounts. Wow, 60, 70, 80% discounts with no mortgage. The mortgage is absolutely wiped out. So what I'm saying is some of these properties will actually sell for 5, 10, 20 cents on the dollar. Well, if you can buy for 10 or 20 cents on the dollar and it's worth 90 or 100 cents on the dollar, you got a lot of room, a lot of margin. All right, so if you're buying those properties for 10 cents, 20 cents on the dollar, and they're worth 100,000, you can see there's a ton of upside potential. All right, now the legislature doesn't want the property. I can tell you the county doesn't want the property, so you want it. So you can buy it at 10, 20 cents on the dollar. You can sell it for whatever you want. Now, I teach my clients, buy it low and sell it low. Now, it sounds like it's too good to be true, but I'm going to tell you right now, when the auction takes place, the county treasurer wipes out the mortgage, just like that. It's X'd out. Now, how do they do that? Well, they cancel the mortgage. They cancel it at the public records, and then they sell the property, okay? Now, the same thing happens on a mortgage. That's wiped out. Same thing on a deed of trust loan. It's wiped out. So it's real estate for pennies on the dollar. Now, if you can buy for 30 cents on the dollar and it's worth 90 cents on the dollar, I'm sure you can do the math and there's some room in there. Well, there's lots of these properties that are being sold at the auction. So you can buy those properties for $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 and then resell them. Now, does it have to be a home? No. Here's a perfect example of a guy that bought residential land. It's along this road that you see on the right. Okay, he found out what all the other properties were worth. He ended up buying this property for $6,000. Wow, he got it for $6,000. What was it worth? It was worth $23,000. So does he have to sell it for $23,000? No. In his case, he sold it for $17,000. Think about that. He paid $6,000, sold it for $17,000. What was his risk? Didn't have a lot of risk. Okay, that's happening every day. Now, how do you sell them? The selling agencies mostly are online, Facebook online. Okay, you can use Zillow, you can use Realtor.com, you can use eBay, you can use Craigslist. You're getting the idea. Plenty of place to sell it. So buy it low, sell it low, and make fast cash. Nothing wrong with that. All right, now if you'll sell it less than the normal price, you're going to be able to do that because you bought it for 10 or 20 cents on the dollar. So what am I showing you? I'm showing you an alternative to make some money so you could take care of yourself. Now, I know what's going on. The Social Security is stagnated, yet all the inflation that's going on, whether it's food prices, whether it's gasoline, whether it's cars, whatever you're trying to buy is going to cost you more money. All right, so if you know how much money you need in retirement, I'm going to tell you, you're the example. But most people don't realize. They think, oh, I can retire on $30,000 and I'll have more than enough. Well, that's good if you will have more than enough, but what if you're only getting 75% of that? So I'm basically showing an alternative to the Social Security. So what I did is, a minute ago, as I mentioned an example. So let's say you went to the auction and it was a $100,000 property, but you only paid $20,000 at the auction. Well, you don't have to sell it for $100,000. Use the example I do here. Sell it for $65,000. All right? And then if you want to make even more money, finance the person. They don't have to go to the bank. Go ahead and do an installment sale and get $600 a month. So number one, you're going to get a down payment. You're going to get the $600 a month. Well, look at that line. It says new auction buyer receives $600 a month. Well, if you get that 12 times a year, it's $7,200. What's wrong with that? That would supplement your Social Security. Into 10 years, you would have brought in $72,000. That would make a big difference in your life, a big difference. So you're getting the idea. So these are profitable properties that you can make money on. This is another example of the same thing. All right. So look, I'm not a financial planner. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not an attorney. I'm not a real estate broker. I'm really just an auction buyer. I'm an author and a publisher, investor, and I believe in being prepared. So I'm not a financial planner, so you need to start thinking about this. Social Security is not going broke, but they're going to change a lot of things. I don't know what the change is going to be, but I'll see you on the next video. And for those of you that are going to buy properties, go right below me, and there's a free gift. And take advantage of that free gift, and you can learn even more about what I'm talking about today.